Today I want to unpack the version 5 beta changes for Heng and Evernight. These are two of the most anticipated characters in the 3.6 cycle, and version 5 has brought the biggest swings we've seen yet. I'll cover what changed, how it affects their kits, their synergy, and how the community is reacting. Let's start with Heng. In earlier betas his role was confusing, half sub DPS, half shielder, but never fully effective. In version 5 he's received what I'd call a stabilization pass. His skill shield now scales at 20% of ATK plus 400, up from 320. His ultimate shield was massively buffed too, scaling at 20% ATK plus 400 and lasting 3 turns, double what it was before. This pushes him into being a true sustain unit who relies on proper building, with his ultimate as his main sustain button. His talent also adds consistency, cleansing a debuff and giving a smaller shield worth 10% ATK plus 200. It's not meant to replace his main shield, but it gives him extra reliability. His Soul Dragon still delivers follow-up attacks, but what's more important now are his Eidolons. At Eidolon 6, his bondmate's damage also reduces enemy def by 12%, turning him into both a sustainer and a debuffer. The controversial part is his signature light cone, though worlds apart. In earlier versions, it boosted both ADK and shield effect so other preservation characters could use it. In version 5 the shield bonus is gone, and the ADK buff was turbocharged. At max level, it now gives 128% ADK, huge for Heng who scales entirely on ADK. But for other preservation units like Aventurin or Jeopard, it's basically useless. That's why the community is split. For Heng mains it's insane, for everyone else it's dead weight. Big picture? Heng is now stronger, more reliable, and more clearly defined. His shields are sturdier, his cleanse adds consistency, his bondmate synergy helps hypercarry comps, and his cone turns him into a pure ATK scaling sustainer. He's no longer the awkward half DPS from earlier betas, he's a full sustain unit, though not as flashy as Aventurin or as unique as Huohua. Now let's talk about Evernight because this is where things get messy. She's been nerfed in almost every beta patch. In version 1 her memo sprites gave a massive 60% crit damage buff. In version 3, that was toned down to 30% of her own crit damage. Now in version 5, it's down again, only 24%. That means she needs 250% crit damage just to give the same 60% buff she started with. On paper that seems achievable, but it forces very strict relic requirements and cuts into her flexibility. Many players hope to build her HP heavy as a hyper carry, but now she looks more like a crit damage feeder who burns her HP for Memorialia generation. Her speed boost cap was also clarified, it's 40 stacks but that was always hidden in earlier builds. So in practice, her support role keeps narrowing while her hyper carry potential keeps shrinking. The community hasn't taken this well. Some say she's doomed to be mid-tier, or that she's just a caster enabler. Others speculate the constant nerfs might mean she'll end up as the free 5-star of 3.6, because right now she doesn't look like a character they expect to sell. And that's really the frustration. This is March's first 5-star form, and fans wanted her to shine as either a hyper carry or flexible sub DPS. Instead, she feels locked into a niche that only works if you already own another premium unit. The optics aren't great, and it reminds people of past cases where one piece was designed to depend on another. So here's the bottom line. Version 5 made Heng stronger and more defined, though his light cone is now hyper-specific. Evernight, on the other hand, keeps getting funneled into a narrower role. Whether that means she'll end up free or just underwhelming as a premium option, we'll have to wait and see. Version 6 is still ahead, so numbers could shift, but historically late beta changes are small tweaks, not big redesigns. Now I want to hear from you. Do these buffs make Heng worth pulling even if you already have sustain options? And what about Evernight? Do you still plan to pull her or will you wait to see if she ends up free?